8 human rights complaints made to international bodies since 2020. These numbers are high, with 4 such petitions by non-governmental organizations made between 1999 and 2015, and no reports were made between 2015 and 2020. Minister of Governance and Parliamentary Affairs Gail Teixeira told reporters on Wednesday that she views this increase in petitions to the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights and the United Nations as a reflection of the confidence reposed in the complaints mechanism, and not necessarily as an increase in human rights breaches locally.
But I would hope that the NGOs here would use more the domestic remedies that are available. That they would use the service commissions, the human rights commissions, PSAT, for example, even in terms of bodies like the Auditor General's Office, to bring matters, PPC, for example, to bring issues to those bodies. And so we're one of the few countries in this region that has that framework of areas where you can go to make complaints and to have redress. Right? And so go to other countries. Many countries don't have these bodies. The human rights commissions that we have may not be strong, and so a lot of what we look at is how do we strengthen the rights commissions so that they're able to more effectively do their work.
The minister said too that the work involved in responding to these petitions made to international bodies are enormous, with a small staffing at the ministry. But major among her concern is that while people have a right under specific conventions to make petitions, most are not entirely factual. New petitions made between 2020 and 2023 were made by organizations including the Guyana Press Association, the Amerindian People's Association, and the International Decade for People of African Descent Assembly Guyana, IPADG.
That's their right to go to those bodies. Our right is to make sure that in our response that we are factual. And I would believe from a social conscience point of view that if one makes a complaint on your country, you should at least be factual. In many of the cases we found of the cases that have been brought, they are not based on fact, they're misrepresentation, and we have to prove that that is so. So we can't just say that an organization has not factually reported. We have to be able to show that they have not, and that is again by the production of documents to show that these are misrepresentation.
Nonetheless, Teixeira said the tone of the government's response is one that shows commitment to implementing and expanding the human rights framework and ensuring that the government's case is presented at best. For the newsroom, Kurt Campbell.